talking about all week in my private groups and with my coaching clients and just people who I'm supporting even through email. And actually today I've connected with two colleagues and we've been talking about stuff. And it's like everything comes down to how you're leading your life in terms of what's going on, in terms of how you're processing, reacting to, or leading during this corona crisis. In these current times, what I'm noticing is the people who already were doing what they love what they do, and wouldn't do anything else even if they had the easy choice to. I'm one of those. And if you're one of those, let me know. But those who are already doing what they love are fine. Not freaking out, not scrambling to pivot, shift. You've heard that word thrown around a ton if you're in the online business or even just in business in general. So yes, there's pivoting and shifting in terms of talking about what's relevant right now. But that's different than trying to completely recreate something new if or because things are changing, right? If you're an entrepreneur, a coach, a leader, an innovator, times like these will tell you if you're doing what you're doing for the right reasons or for the wrong reasons. Let's see if I can see if I am on here. I'm just going to move over for a second to another window to see if I actually am live. I don't want to be talking to myself. So let me know in the comments if you can see me, hear me, and where you're joining from. Ta-da-ta-da. Bear with me. I don't really know if I'm live. This is super duper creepy. I'm just going to keep talking. So if you're on here, let me know in the comments. All right. The wrong reasons for being an entrepreneur, for running a business, all of these things are money, notoriety, trying to please or impress others. Those are the wrong reasons to be in business for yourself, to be an entrepreneur, to be out there coaching. The right reasons are super simple. Number one, you love it so much that you can't help but do it. You love it so much what you're doing that you can't help but do it. And number two, it's your superpower, right? They go together. They go together. So if you're joining me for the first time, I'm Jessica Perez-Beebe. I'm a pro athlete, an entrepreneur, a coach, founder in the past 16 years of 4 successful businesses in 3 industries. And I currently work with exceptional leaders, innovators who are looking to hit your next level of performance, okay? That's what we're talking about here. And I'm going to reference one of my faves, Tim Grover, who is a trainer to some of the NBA greats like Jordan and Kobe. And here's something that is a quote from him. The greats never stop learning. Instinct and talent, write this down because this is a quotable. Instinct and talent without technique. Instinct and talent without technique just make you reckless. He likens it to a teenager driving a powerful high-performance vehicle, right? So instinct is raw clay that can be shaped into a masterpiece if you develop the skills that match your talent. So that's what this live is about, developing the skills that actually match your talent. That only comes from learning everything there is to know about your raw talent, your superpower. You guys with me on that? Does that make sense? How excited are you as a leader, an entrepreneur, an innovator to know that you can take what you're already naturally gifted at, your God-given talent, and if you just focus attention on that, think of your greatest athletes. Everything that I teach to my entrepreneurs has that underlying foundation of how a pro athlete thinks. Or think of like your top artists, musicians, anybody who's really honed their craft. That is the beauty and the magic of taking what you're naturally gifted at and turning it into a masterpiece. Not just relying on your instinct and raw talent alone. It's like, how do you take that and make it your thing? right? How do you take your superpower and turn it into something like Tom Brady, right? So I was listening to an interview with Tom Brady recently, and they were talking about how the fact that in high school, he was actually a better baseball player than a football player. He was playing both. And so they asked him, or Howard asked him, why did you pursue football if you were at that time doing better in baseball? And he said simply, I loved it more. I loved it more. Like, I loved football so much that I knew I could take my natural athleticism. So the natural gift, the God-given gift, the talent is the natural athletic ability. But he knew that if he channeled it into what he already loves, that he would go far, right? And like, you go into the interview and you hear even more and more about his journey to the NFL. Those of you who know him well or follow his career closely know that he wasn't even like the first round draft pick. He was like the 20 something, right? So it wasn't just the raw talent alone. It was the work that he then put into something that he already loved and was already good at, that has him be right now like 43 years old, still in the sport, right? When most people are retiring before they're 30. Okay, so he liked it more. So that love for it is what turned, like I said, that athleticism, that instinct into something that he was able to then develop and go deeper, like Tim Grover's talking about, with the practice, with the relentless effort. And now it's his masterpiece. Okay, so I teach, this is part of what I help people do, is like really uncover, what are you already freaking gifted at? Right? When you stop chasing things for the money or the newness of it, and you just get really tight and narrow focused on what you're already great at, that's when the hard shit gets easy, right? So I learned a long time ago that my superpower is really inspiring people into action, right? Action is like my word. It really sums up my way of being. It's what has built my perseverance. It's what has built my positivity, right? I get things done. I'm able to change and transform through whatever challenge or trauma, and life keeps giving me all of those in an effort to help me hone my skill, right? I've always done it, right? So whenever that challenge is there, or that opportunity to take something seemingly insurmountable and transform it and myself in the process, right? I've done it. I haven't just sat around and thought about it. There's great thinkers out there, researchers, right? But I actually take the action. And by doing something about it, that's how I've developed the perseverance, right? And that's the example that I live by. It's what people have come to me for over and over again before I even moved into entrepreneurship, right? When you look back at your life, you can see what are the things you naturally were always gifted at, and the ways of being, right? Don't just look at it as drawing. That's one thing. But what are the things that people come to you for, right? With me, people always came to me when they were going through something, right? They needed help on how to make it through a tough time, how to shift their perspective and see the silver lining, or create the silver lining, right? They came to me for that boost of energy, motivation, action, to get connected to what was possible, right? And then to take action on it. So some people call that skill, that natural ability, mindset, and it is. Some people call it focus, and it is. Some people call it drive. It's that too. But the foundation of my superpower, the natural talent and ability that God has gifted me with, is the ability to take action, right? And so that's what I've been able to do and support other people with, right? So I took that gift, listen to this so you can apply it to yourself. I took that natural gift, that natural talent, right, to overcome and to persevere through action, right? I took it and I honed it. I honed it. I studied mindset. I studied the brain. I studied personal development, spirituality, leadership, coaching. I continue to, right? So that attention to honing my natural gift is what has led me into my career and has made me such an impactful coach over the past 16 years. Okay? So here's something that Tim Grover says that I love. He says, no one is going to change you because people do not change. Okay? What he says is trust who you already are. Trust who you already are. This is so important for so many of you right now who are reaching out to me and saying, like, in this time right now where everything is upside down, I'm losing a job, or this is happening, or this is making me question what I really want. All of these things that are coming up as a result of what we're going through. This is the time to silence out the noise, not be in reaction mode, and do what we're talking about right here. Trust who you already are. This is where I talked about recently trusting your gut, not all the experts, so to speak. Trust who you already are. Get in the zone where you can drown out the noise, right? All the negativities, all the fears, all the distractions, so that you can achieve what it is that you want in whatever it is that you do. This is what the greats have done. And you hear this time and time again from the most successful actors, musicians, right? You'll hear them say, well, the question would be like, how did you make it? How did you come to town with just $5 in your pocket and decide you were going to, do it? You struggled for, it sounds like 5 years and then 10 years. And how did you make it? The answers are always the same, right? I had no other choice. I had nothing else to fall back on. I decided this was it. This was going to be it for me. This is just who I am, right? It's like they weren't chasing it for the quick fix. If you want to have lifelong success that doesn't waver with hard times like we're going through right now, with hard times or crisis, if you want to have that kind of longevity, that kind of impact, that kind of influence, that kind of success in your life, it does not come from chasing a quick fix, right? It does not come from chasing the, multi-level marketing. Nothing against that. I'm just saying, typically the inspiration for that is because you want to have a quick fix of just money in the background. Okay, great. Maybe that can be something that you do in addition. But if that's what you're chasing as your freedom, so to speak, when things like this happen, and I've seen it because I've been on the calls with some of those people, then your foundation is shaken. Your foundation is rocky, right? So it doesn't come from looking for something to happen overnight, for just doing it for the money, because the money will either run out or you're going to burn out trying to chase it, right? So it comes from taking what you're already gifted in, what you love, and getting effing great at it. Laser focus. That's how the hard shit gets easy. I say this all the time. Let's make the hard shit get easy, because we're always going to have hard times, right? If you have your mindset right, you know, and you expect those times to come. You don't expect life to just be this privilege of ease with no kinds of mountains to climb, right? Like, we know that there's peaks and valleys. How do you prepare for it, right? Like Tim Grover said, the greats never stop learning. It's what I call an unquenchable thirst for growth. Do you have it? Do you have an unquenchable thirst for growth? Instinct and talent without technique just makes you reckless, right? It just makes you reckless. In anything that you do, it takes no talent to work hard. You just have to want to do it. And when you're doing what you love, working hard for it, like when I heard Tom Brady talking about it, like putting in those extra hours, drowning out the noise of all the other stuff that was going on, not going out and like partying nonstop at college and all of these other things, right? Putting in the work, the hard work, right? It's easy when you're doing what you love. In anything you do, it takes no talent to actually work hard at it. You just have to want to do it. So you guys can start by taking my free assessment. I've dropped the link here. It will give you deep insight into what it is you're intrinsically driven by, right? What is that drive? What is that motivator that you have underneath? Set aside 15 minutes. This is a real assessment, a human needs assessment. It's not some online, Facebook quiz. This is a real human needs assessment put together by Chloe Medane and Tony Robbins, who I was trained under for one entire year. This is going to give you the insight to what it is you already are naturally motivated by. So then you could take your talent, your superpower, and put the effort behind that right now, not into some other get rich quick or some other online course or anything like that. This is the time to work on you. So click the assessment. It will go directly into your inbox from me and an invitation to talk to me if you want to take it deeper. All right, guys, go out and have an incredible weekend and get a workout in.